zone would do it every time. We were kind of messing with them because I had never heard it before, and that's what they did in Indy. So I learned it from him. It made a lot of sense, and then when I watch it on tape, they're right. Those guys drop it way too much. There comes the time and place, though, when running it all the way to the ref, you don't have enough time to run it all the way to him. Sometimes you got to take a leap of faith and throw it.
Don't you just run it to the hash mark?
Yeah, you can run it there and spot it for them, and then they'll grab it. But then sometimes they'll linemen walk through and accidentally kick it on accident, and then you see a ref scrambling everywhere for it, and they don't stop it. So.
What's the plan for the quarterbacks on Saturday?
Jimmy will start out. I mean, with most of our starters, I know there's a number of guys that aren't playing to be safe with, and some guys who've been banged up. But trying to get most of our starters going. Jimmy will be hopefully just one series. Then I'll get Trey in there, and hopefully just the whole first half.
Can you say which guys won't be playing?
No, I really don't mind telling you, but I don't have it memorized.
Will Trey get any reps with the starters, or will you take him out with Jimmy?
No, I'll take all the starters out when Jimmy goes out.
And then who starts the second half?
We haven't decided that yet.
Could it be Trey?
I mean, it could be. Like, if he didn't get a certain amount of plays, hopefully he gets around 30 or something, but you never know how that'll go. If he didn't get enough plays, then I would start him probably the first series of the third.
What about Ford? Will he play the game?
No, he won't.
But Hurd would play.
Hurd won't play, no.
What do you think of it?
I was impressed when he got some balls, made some plays. No, he's coming along. The stuff that I said the other day wasn't anything that was a shot at him. That's the reality of injured players. I don't think people realize that it's when you have guys who are talented enough to make your team, it's tough because it's not about just getting them to the 53. There's a lot of those are the stressful decisions John and I have because there's guys you really want to help, and you got to be smart with them because they're coming off real serious injuries. But you eventually got to show that you won't get re-injured. And that's what's tough. You look at our camp last year, and we knew D Ford was bothered. We only had 2 weeks of camp, so we were very safe with him. And then he goes out to Arizona, tries to play for his first time in a real football game, and he realizes halfway through that this doesn't feel right. And then we have a guy who isn't there for the next 15 weeks, and that's why we cut someone a week before that. It almost happened with Jalen the first year when him and Trey went down. We put them to we thought they were going to come back week 4, but since both of them went down, we had a bunch of young guys. I mean, a guy like Bourne was on the bubble that year. Like, to give you guys a story, like, you look at our draft picks that we had at the time. I think Marquise was starting. We had just drafted some guys. I mean, Bourne didn't have the best camp, and he was on the outside looking in. And then Jalen was hurt. Then Trent Taylor got hurt, so we kept Bourne. But if everyone had been healthy, it would have been hard for Bourne to make the team. But we kept them because a couple guys were hurt. Then week 4, I'm expecting to get them back, and the injuries are a lot worse for Trent and Jalen than we thought. And damn, I'm glad I didn't cut Bourne week 1 because he ended up being our most consistent guy for the following 2 years. So that's the stress of injuries and trying to take care of these guys because you know how good they are. But you also got to know what that final 53 means.
Practice like yesterday, Trey Lance is doing a lot of pass rush. How do you view that? Do you like to see him? He's not getting obviously the offensive line to give him more time, but just how do you view the pressure that he's getting?
Will you repeat it?
So how do you evaluate? Like, do you like to see Trey Lance deal with pressure from the pass rush?
Yeah, I like to. You try to make as real a football as there is. So, I mean, I don't want him sitting there playing like it's 7-on-7 all day. That's why I don't like 7-on-7, because I'm telling him to get rid of the ball, but there's no pass rush. I also want him, if no one's open, to hold on to it till the pass rush gets there. I also want him, if there's a lane, and he doesn't hesitate to break. So you try to generate that as much as possible. You just want him to play real. If a guy's about to hit him, you want him to just sit there and take hitches because they're not going to hit him, and then just throw it late and have a big play. That was a sack. If that happens, I hope he knows where to get rid of it, or I hope he scrambles. If we block well, I hope he makes the play that's presented to him. So it's just trying to give him reps of really doing everything, and when it gets to the game, it's a lot realer. We'll see if they tackle him. We'll see if he scrambles. We'll see how he hangs in there.
What have your conversations been like with him about just protecting himself on those run plays?
I mean, you mention it every time. I mean, every time you evaluate a run and where you get to, you always talk about, all right, how would you protect yourself here? How are you going down? Are you going for more? Are you sliding? Are you going head first? Are you stepping out of bounds? I don't ever want a guy in practice to practice diving or sliding. Sometimes, you don't want to hurt a wrist or get your feet caught in an awkward way. So that's something that we're all going to see in the game. And Trey says the right things. he's a pretty good runner. He's pretty competitive. So I hope he takes my word for it. But sometimes those guys don't believe how hard people hit, and then they get it a couple times in the NFL, and they're like, all right, now I know what you're talking about.
Going back to Bourne, did you tell him, like, you got a second life here? So
I forget, probably. Bourne and I talked a lot, so I'm sure I told him something, but that's why this stuff's so stressful. I mean, we had a number of draft picks that year. We had Dante, who was a second-round pick the year before. I think we took Debo and Jalen Hurd that year. We already had Keese as our starter. We had Trent Taylor, who was doing really well until he hurt his foot and back, I think it was. I forget that year. So you just look at all this stuff, and it's tough. I mean, we liked our draft picks, whether we're ready right away or not, but it's really hard to keep 7 receivers. And so that's why it's so important for guys to have an OTAs. So guys have a chance to come to training camp, so they have a chance to show you, because it's tough. You only get 53, and it's awesome when you get more on the practice squad, but that opens them up to everyone else. So if you are good at one position, you're going to try to keep them all, but that means you're going to go shorter some other area. And when I look back on it, that's probably why we lost Caden Smith. We couldn't keep 4 tight ends. We tried to for 1 week, but we had too many receivers waiting for someone to come back. Wasn't ready to cut Bourne. That would have been one of the dumbest decisions we ever made. But we ended up losing Caden, who was a real good player, because he wasn't quite ready. Levine was more ready at that time, but we had too many roster spots. So we ended up trying to put him in a practice squad. You lose him to the Giants, and now he's a pretty good player. I'm sorry, I can't. He's doing a good job. I mean, the more reps those guys can get, I mean, they do get a little more camp legs and they get sore, but the experience is so huge. Whether they do good or bad, just for those guys to have those reps, go through them, and then to go back in the facility and be able to watch it on film. And now we're going to take it. They're not going to do anything tomorrow. They'll be able to rest before the game, and hopefully they'll get some fresher legs there and go out and be able to perform.
when it comes time to those cuts, do you guys look at it like, well, this guy might be ahead of this guy, but no one's picking up this guy, whereas another team might? Is that all kind of?
Yes, that's why it's never a simple answer, and I think I've said as much as I can, but that's why it's a lot more complicated than people realize. It's not always this guy versus this guy. It's how to balance out a roster, a practice squad. This guy might not be ready, but you think he will week 4. What does that mean to how you can get through till he's ready? And what if he's not going to be ready because he's injured? Well, what does that mean to the team? Can you IR him? Can you get him through till Sunday and then PUP him so you can buy till week 8 or whatever it is? So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
No one remembers like any of those great quarterbacks ever did in their first preseason game. So it's not like if Trey is good or bad, you'll say, oh, wow, now we know. But it's kind of like the next step of like, what can he do? So I don't know, is there a sense of more anticipation from you or just excitement of like, what's this going to look like?
Yeah, I'm just excited to see him play, just like everyone else is. It's fun to watch quarterbacks go out there for the first time and stuff, but I don't get nervous for the person or anything like that, because I think it's fun to watch. I know no one's going to remember how his first preseason game is. They will the next day, and that's all right. So I know rookies get some butterflies and stuff, and it is a big deal for them. But the reality of it isn't. It's an experience for them. I think Trey's going to make the team, so he doesn't have to go out there and freak out about that. But he knows a lot of eyes will be on him, and sometimes those guys want to go out there and make some plays and show everyone what to be excited about, and I just always try to tell them it's just like practice, except they can hit you. So just calm down and just do your job like you try to do out here every day, because that's what quarterback is going to be every single day of your life till you're done playing.
Have you ever flipped a 21-year-old quarterback before, and do you sometimes forget that he's 21?
Yeah, I think Johnny was 21 when I was in Cleveland. But yeah, I do. It's the first time we talked to him, we were gonna offer him a beer, and then I realized I would be supplying a minor, and so we definitely didn't. So you forget about it. He's mature. He doesn't look like a 21-year-old, maybe in his face, but no, he definitely acts a lot more wise than that, or at least than I was when I was 21.
What's the status of K1 and Key today?
K1 had some friendly fire when he ran into Greenlaw the other day, just a sore hip. I mean, I think he could have gone today if it was a game or something like that, but nothing to be worried about day to day. Arden Keys, same thing. Someone ran into his quad, so he had a slight quad contusion, but he almost went out there today, so nothing too big deals. Should be all right in the next couple days.
We'll take 3 more.
Mike McDaniel said he wants to see Trey have successes and failures. Would you say that's the same thing? You want to see how he handles both?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go out there and, I mean, sometimes you don't want to deceive a guy. You want him to learn. And sometimes you go out there and there can be some fake success. Not fake, but just some gimmies and stuff. And guys, I don't really worry about Trey. He's not ever going to, he works, he stays the same every day. But sometimes situations that happen that don't seem that good, I think they always make people stronger. They always make people wiser. And guys don't like it, so they focus on how to not let it happen again. And I would like that much more to happen in a preseason than when the games count.
I'm going to talk to your two rookie draft cornerbacks today, and just given the cornerback situation and the depth, it looks like very likely at some point in the season they have to play significant and meaningful snaps. You realize it's still somewhat early, but do you feel comfortable with them right now, or would they be ready to do that, or will they need a few weeks?
I think everyone needs a few weeks. I think those guys are battling through a lot. They go up and down just like all corners do and all rookies do. I mean, when you get to a 53 and injuries happen and stuff, it really doesn't matter whether they're ready or not. And that's what the stress is of drafting people in the 53. There's not a minor league system here where you just got to wait till they're ready. So that's what's so crucial about every decision you make as a staff. And I really like how our starters have been playing. I think those two is, anytime you're a corner and you come out of college, you think it's going to be easy, and you got a lot of ups and downs. And what's been cool when those guys have had bad days, I really love how they responded the next day. I think they're both two guys who aren't going to run from stuff, who want to compete, and those are guys I would like to get a lot of playing time.
Through the first 4 years, Mike McDaniel hasn't had a big media presence. Have you been entertained by the material that he's unveiled there?
I haven't watched any of it, so they try to get. I've known Mike for a long time, so always when Mike is sitting there talking, I'm entertained. He's as smart of a guy as I've been around, and he's sometimes he's got about 1,000 thoughts going, so it's hard for him to get one answer out. But that's why he's a hell of a coach and has helped me a ton throughout my career.
What are some things you're looking forward to seeing out of Trey Lance on Saturday?
Just getting the experience. I mean, I want to see him take command of the huddle. There actually will be a play clock out there, just being aware of that. Sometimes you get comfortable when you miss a play call or something. We can always re-huddle and I'll give it to you again, but I'm not going to be able to talk after 15 seconds, and it's going to be silent. And what are we going to do? And how quick do we get it to the line and execute it? And it's also tough when you're playing with a lot of guys who it's their first time too. So you got to help people out a little bit, but he's going to have a lot on his plate, and I'm just excited to see how he handles it. Good. All right. Thanks, guys.
What's the thing that excites you the most about putting on the pads and playing in front of people again?
I mean, it's been a while. I'm used to playing spring ball and haven't played football in a while, so just excited to go live again.
How's it been going against this defensive line? It's pretty tough and pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really good defensive line room. They play really hard, and it's nice to get some tips from them here and there, but I think it's been a challenge, and it's something that I've been looking forward to, and that I think that I'm taking advantage of.
What's been the biggest thing just for this game for you? Has it been mental, physical? Like, what's tested you the most out here?
I mean, I think the game from college to the NFL and the O&D line, I think it's a big jump. So I think just adjusting and gaining experience is something that I've been focusing on.
How do you feel just about taking in the playbook, the responsibilities, the adjustments from the shoulders up? How do you think?
I feel fine about it. Yeah.
What strikes you most about the jump from college to the pros?
I mean, I think just the speed and speed of the game, and how experienced these guys are. They have little tricks in their bag that haven't seen before. So, I mean, just learning and trying to not make the same mistake twice with these guys.
What's Trey Lance like in a huddle? Does he keep it loose? Is there a lot of words that come out? What's he like?
I think he keeps it pretty loose. He's not like super uptight. We have a pretty good relationship, so yeah, I think I don't know. I think in the huddle, he's the same guy that he is in the locker room. I mean, he locks it in some more, obviously, but I think he doesn't tighten up a ton.
You mentioned the other day that some of the veteran defensive linemen have given you advice and whatnot. Has there been one who's been, particularly helpful to you and offering you tips?
I mean, yeah, I've done some work with Zach Kerr after practice. I've talked to Mo Hirsch some, and I think those are the main two that I've talked to and got some tips from.
Have you gotten tips from Lakin Tomlinson?
Yeah.
What kind of a mentor is he? He seems like a smart.
Yeah, Lakin's great. He's kind of taken me under my wing. Of course, I have Mike here, but Mike plays tackle and playing guard is a little bit different. So I've kind of gotten in that role where Lakin's kind of been my vet as far as the guard spot.
What's the biggest adjustment for you playing in this scheme, the outside zone, and needing to get to the second level?
I mean, I did it in college. I got to the second level. We ran a lot of outside zones, so I don't think there's anything that's too different from what I've done before.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Coach Corey was saying the other day that there's so much that goes into being an NFL cornerback other than coverage, which everyone thinks about. Like, can you cover the wide receiver? And how to get aligned, your depth, reading formations. I assume some of this you dealt with in college, but is this a different level of detail?
Yeah, I say it's very different because, you know, every little detail is very important. You know, it could just be a split of a second, and then if you off by a yard, that's a catch or even a touchdown. You know, so it plays a big part in everything.
Was it surprising? That level of detail?
Oh yeah, it was very surprising. I thought it was actually going to be the same as college, just a little bit faster, but it's actually more detailed than anything.
Coach Unglin gives you a lot of close coaching. How are you sort of receive that? I mean, do you like the fact that he's paying a lot of attention to you and coaching you up after?
Oh, yes, sir. Just being that person that's always coachable, you know, it's always great to pick up new things and just learn from everybody else. And when everybody else add into it, my ears are just always open.
You get to go against Brandon Ayuk sometimes, Deebo Samuel. How is it? How's your learning been helped by going against really good guys like that?
Oh, it's actually a blessing because every loss I just go back and learn from it. You know, with them being guys that have been making plays in the NFL already, and just being able to compete with them is just a blessing to me.
Did you face Brandon in college?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. We faced 2 times. Yeah, while I was in college. The first time I played him is when I think it was his first year at Arizona State, and then the second time was obviously his second year.
How much has he improved since you faced him back in college?
He's definitely improved a lot. You know, college it was more like, you know, he was the man. I mean, he still is the man, but you know, college he was more like not really. He was a receiver. He was a playmaker though. So I see him here. He's much more as a receiver. Like his length, size, speed, strength, his ability to adjust to the ball. You know, it don't get no better than that.
How are Jason Verrett and K1 Williams leaders in your room? How are they?
Oh, those guys. I look at those guys as big brothers. You know, they always helping me. You know, with the little things, just telling me the little things count, and just paying attention to detail, and just showing me like how to scheme an offense.
Is there one thing in particular that they've shown you that has been like eye-opening for you?
Just telling me that I don't have to be so fast in my back pedal. You know, I can just slow up because a lot of teams is not going to just take you deep all the time. You can be able to sit on routes sometimes.
Are you finding, I guess initially, I know like OTAs early in training camp, you had to think so much about, okay, where am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to do? Is that becoming more second nature so you can play naturally, or is it still a work in progress?
I'm actually getting more comfortable with finding out where I got to be and what I got to do. It was actually in OTAs. It was crazy. It was like a culture shock. You know, I didn't even know where to go. Like me and Ambry was following each other. Like we didn't know where to go. And then I remember Coach Hightower screaming at Jimmy and was like, "Jimmy, take them under your wing." And then we just followed Jimmy everywhere. So it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Nice to have someone like Ambry to kind of go through all of this with.
Oh yeah, that's a blessing. Also, you know, just someone that we competed in high school. We played on the opening together. We played at the Army Bowl together, so we kind of familiar with each other, and just being able to take those steps with someone that's a rookie like me.
You guys both you and Ambry, looking at the quarterback depth, could play a lot this year. Do you feel like there's urgency from the coaches, just everyone to make sure you guys are ready and up to speed?
I mean, when the opportunity presents itself, I think we'll be ready. You know, we just taking it one day at a time and just learning as much knowledge as we can. You know, so when our number is called, we can go out and make plays.
Thank you, Demo.
Thank you.
Good.
Demo just said how nice it was to have someone to go through this with. How much has it meant for you to have him to go through?
Oh yeah, me and Demo, during rookie OTAs, like we'll both sit up in our hotel room and watch film together and just break down our receivers together, and it's been a blessing, honestly, to just have somebody in the cornerback room with me that's a rookie just like me as well, and just to know I'm not the only one that's out there that's just lost. You feel me? It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Have you kind of gotten past that feeling lost?
Oh yeah, now it's just more focusing on like the little details, just really trying to like perfect my craft, and like I know my weakness, I know what I have to work on, just trying to tweak those things and make it one of my stronger points.
You noted that it's so much more than just being able to cover a guy in the NFL, about alignment, how deep you're supposed to be, and reading formations and all that stuff. He said it was a lot different than Oregon, a lot more detail. Has that been your experience too?
Yeah, for me, because at Michigan, all I played was press man, a little bit of cover two, but it was from press two, so I'm looking at everything from a press standpoint. But now, like, you get the bag off a little bit, you see the whole field, you see the whole picture. You're trying to just see the story that the offense is telling. And I mean, when you got guys like JV and E-Man and KK in the room, like, who's been doing this for some time, like, you start to learn and really catch on to them, and just whatever they say, you just take it in and you soak all that knowledge in, because they know what they're doing, put it like that. They know what they're doing.
Is it overwhelming a little bit from going from basically, you impressed me with dealing with one guy that you need to worry about versus the whole offense?
Whole offense, I felt like, for me, it was kind of like it was just like a teaching point for me, just to really learn, get back in my zone mechanics, and just to have zone eyes, because I'm used to one-on-one matchups, but just to have zone eyes and just to see everything, see the story, and yeah, I mean, it's been kind of like different for me, but I'm still learning.
What's the biggest challenge in coming here?
Oh, for me, like coming here, for me, just being far away from family. Like, I'm from Michigan, being far away from my loved ones, 3-hour difference. I get out of here, they're asleep. Yeah, but besides that, like, I'm loving it out here, honestly. Sun's out all day, like, I love it, like, all smiles, good vibes.
Do you go into Saturday's game visualizing certain plays, like getting an interception, things like that?
Oh yeah, I already got like a play in my head. Like, I just wanna, if it comes to me, like, I'm getting it. I'm going to get the ball. Like, but yeah, we've already started watching a little bit of film, and once I see that play, like, once I see it, like, I'm going to get it. Like, got to.
Who are cornerbacks in the league? Who are cornerbacks in the league that you watch and you really admire their play?
I like Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, and Xavier Howard. I mean, those are press corners. I feel like from a press standpoint, it's just mindset. Like, you gotta go up there and line up and know you're better than the guy you're going against.
When we talked to you, I think during OTAs, you're extremely confident, about what you're going to do in the NFL. I'm sure you feel the same way. But has any of this experience kind of humbled you at times?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just like the game speed. It's like it started off super fast, but now it's starting to slow back down. Like, okay, like, I'm starting to learn my stuff. It's like I'm not out there thinking. It's just I'm just learning to play now. But yeah, definitely.
All right. Thanks, Avery.
All right, no problem.